the Bills are a very good team, and they know how to beat the Chiefs. They've done it. Now, they haven't done it in the postseason. They've been super close. But if there's any player I feel like who is sort of destined to finally get over the top, I think it's Josh Allen. I think if you're making a case for the Bills, and it's not a hard case to make, Josh Allen has to sort of play out of his mind this weekend. Like, he always kind of plays hero ball, but I think he's going to have one of those signature performances where if the Bills win this game, you're going to say, that was one of the greatest performances we've seen in a playoff game from a quarterback in a long time. And I think that he is up to the task. I kind of feel like this is his year. He might win the MVP. The Bills are a team that they know what they're getting with the Chiefs. I wonder how much of it is mental for them. Do you know what I mean? Because they've been so close and they've been right there. Maybe they've gotten a bad call or a coin flip didn't go their way, whatever it is. But they've been right there. They know they can play against Kansas City. And I think they have a chance to maybe be more physical than the Chiefs. That's a tough task. But we've seen the Bills be more physical at the line of scrimmage as the season has gone on. So I know everyone's on Kansas City, but there's a reason why we're seeing some money come in on Buffalo. Buffalo is much better than we give them credit for. You see Chiefs, Bills, you think, oh, it's Chiefs. The Bills are a very good football team. This is going to be a close game.
Yeah, according to Josh Allen, everybody's counting them out. They're too small. They got no talent. Except for the MVP. Josh Allen has played like an MVP this year. But I feel like the key thing against the Chiefs is that you have to play a perfect and a clean game. You have to be really good, but you also have to play a clean game because, like we said, it feels like the officiating is going to rear its head in an ugly way if you give them even a little window to where they can take advantage of you. But if you look at the Bills this year, they are number one in turnover margin. So if you're looking for teams who play clean games, the Bills don't feel like a team that's going to beat themselves. We've seen it all season long. Even Josh Allen, somebody who had been known as kind of a gunslinger, cut back on his interceptions. 28 touchdowns this year through the air, only 6 picks. So I feel like maybe that's the difference maker this year. It does feel like this year is different for Josh Allen. Maybe this year is different for the Bills. Maybe they finally get that win over the Chiefs in the postseason. Because right now, Josh Allen, 0-3 in the postseason against the Chiefs. Maybe the fourth time's a charm.
I mean, it could be. And I was looking at bets yesterday. I'm going to throw this one out there since we're talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown, is even money. And if you believe, like I believe, that the Bills have to have a maestro of a performance from Josh Allen, I feel like he gets into the end zone with his legs. Now, can the Chiefs generate pressure with their defensive line and Chris Jones? Absolutely. But I think if that happens, Josh Allen takes off. I wouldn't be surprised in the red zone if we see some design runs for Josh Allen. Had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Ravens. Didn't score against the Broncos, but on the ground because he didn't need to. Like, the Bills just dominated that game from the start. In this game, where you know it's going to be back and forth, you know it's going to be a close game, again, he's going to have to play hero ball, and I just see him taking off, getting into the end zone in a big spot because that's what he had to do last week against the Ravens. The formula will be the same against the Chiefs, and it's even money. So a little sprinkle on Josh Allen anytime touchdown is something that I think interests me.
Yeah, I think that that's a good angle, whether you go anytime touchdown or if you just go with the rushing yards for Josh Allen. I've got all 3 of the game logs against Kansas City in the postseason pulled up. So he's ran it at least 7 times in all 3 of these games. It was 7, 11, and 12 attempts for 72, 68, and 88 yards on the ground. Again, this year is a little different to where it feels like Josh Allen isn't playing, the level of hero ball that he normally does. But this is a massive game. You said it. I feel like there's probably some mental things going on for Josh Allen to where if there's ever going to be like the ultimate level of motivation here, it's going to be in this game for Josh Allen beating, their biggest rival in the postseason in the Kansas City Chiefs. So I understand that, his legs haven't been as much of a factor in the past few games, but I feel like could be a game where Josh Allen simply takes the ball and runs it. So looking at the rushing prop for Josh Allen this week, 47.5. Like I said, he's hit this number in all 3 games against the Kansas City Chiefs in his career in the postseason. But yes, stopping the run is going to be important. And I feel like this is where the matchup feels kind of different for the Commanders, is that this is going to be a more physical matchup than what we saw against the Lions, which feels kind of strange to say. because the Lions' offensive line is really good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to their defense, they just had a bunch of injuries on the defensive line, on the secondary, to where it was a defense that maybe wasn't the strongest. It's not going to be the case against the Eagles. And this leads me to maybe another train of thought. So if you don't like a side in this game, what about a total? Do you see this one being lower scoring, 47.5?
Gosh, that was my lean, but the more I think about it, I think the Eagles are going to score some points. There's no question about it. And as much as we joke around about Saquon, I mean, it's the key. Like he is eviscerated the Commanders this season. So in both of his games earlier in the year, he had at least 140 yards in each of those games, right? He's going to get his, and the Commanders, whether it's Saquon or anyone else, like this is not specific to Saquon, the Commanders just can't stop the run. So what I feel like is going to happen is that we may end up seeing more points than we think. Initially, I was like, defensive battle going to be called. And I know the Eagles like to run the ball, but I think they're going to have success running the ball. And I think the Commanders will have to answer, and they're going to have to answer by using their running game, but also Jaden Daniels' arm and being hyper aggressive, and they already are on fourth down. I think we're going to see a lot of fourth down conversions. And for the Commanders to win, they're going to have to play a more aggressive brand of football or the same type of football they played all season to get this dub, which I think means more chances, more points. So I kind of initially thought the under was the play, but now I'm thinking we're going to see more points than I initially thought. I think I'm going to lean to the over now.
Yeah, I think there's a big sabotage factor for the under, and it's the explosive plays. Because explosive plays and aggressive drives kind of kill unders. Because if you're talking about the Commanders, maybe the difference between an over and under is a field goal as opposed to a touchdown. And who's going for a touchdown, it feels like every single time? Feels like it's the Commanders. And they're going to be going for it on fourth down. They're going to be trying to get the most out of their offense. And we saw a ton of explosive plays against the Lions. Same goes for the Eagles. It's not like they're completely devoid of explosive plays. Maybe it doesn't come from Jalen Hurts if he's banged up, but Saquon's broken off some big runs. In fact, I was on his longest rush last week, and he hit that in the first half alone. So I think we're going to see a lot of explosive plays in this one. Maybe not quite as many as we saw in that game against the Lions, but, man, that was like a college game. And I think, what did we see, like 70-some points in that?
Yeah.
All we need is 48.
As the week's gotten closer and the game's getting closer, the nerves are starting to check in a little bit more. I was definitely... sometimes you get a little chesty. You get a little chesty after the game. You start feeling yourself a little bit. So it's still unbelievable to me that the Commanders are here. They have been such a and this is not a shot. I'm sorry. It's just they've been such a non-threat for my entire life. I mean, like I know RG3 had a little spurt there. But, I mean, I watched, Todd Collins, he won a division. I watched Jason Campbell. I watched Rex Grossman. It's just, it's hard to believe that the Commanders are here. And I have a very hard time believing that I'm going to have to watch Josh Harris and his stupid little face celebrating at Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday. So, yes, it's very hard for me to envision. But as the game is getting closer, and the more and more I think about Jaden Daniels, I'm definitely getting more and more nervous for sure.